This may be the biggest spiritual problem of our time. And it's not just a South African story, it is the face of a global ideology. Om die omvang van die skade te verstaan, het ons 'n woord nodig wat baie van julle waarskynlik nog nooit van gehoor het nie. Saudade. Fascinatingly, it is a Portuguese word that cannot be directly translated to English. It emerged during Portugal's golden age, the age of discovery, when ships disappeared across the horizon and often never returned. Families would wait on the coastline for fathers, sons, and friends would never come home again. That feeling of loss became known as saudade. Maar soos Portugal begin verval het saudade iets dieper, hartseer en wêreldwyd geword. Dit het 'n emosionele geheue geword van 'n beskawing wat geweet het dit was eens groter as wat dit nou is. 'n Gevoel dat iets mooi het uit die wêreld geglip en nooit volkome teruggebring kan word. So in 'n breër konteks, wat is dit? Wat is hierdie ding wat ons verloor het? This is what I found remarkable. Liberals and communists, sworn enemies on paper, are increasingly becoming identical on the most important question. Both believe that material prosperity is the driving force behind human happiness. That if you simply get the numbers right, people will automatically fall into place. That the key to a good life is becoming a CEO, a millionaire, or a shareholder, whatever is the most material form of success happens to be. With the communist version, Zimbabwe tried the easy route. Money is the answer to everything. That's the most baie eenvoudig. Ons gaan net vir julle miljoene dollars gee, letterlik. There you go, be happy. En toe, poef, stort die geld net in mekaar. Poef, die land stort in mekaar. En die mense daar, net soos die ryk passasiers op die Titanic, het besef dat geld maar net papier is. Wat is inflasie werklik? Dit is die spoed waartoe mense besef hierdie papier het maar net beperkte waarde. Die Zimbabweërs het dit alles op een dag besef. Ander lande doen dit maar net stadiger. The liberals then realized, okay, we can't do that, and chose an opposite direction. Same destination, different method. Whether intentionally or through incompetence, they began dismantling patriotism, religion, culture, language, and borders. Remove every constraint, and the rats will run faster. Everyone will become a millionaire. Everyone will find happiness. En hoe werk dit uit? Ek sien jong mense met slimfone, geld, sosiale media volgelinge, alles wat die mark beloof sou hulle gelukkig maak. En wat ek sien, skok my. 'n Generasie wat leeg, elendig en soekend is. Hulle het alles en hulle voel niks. That emptiness began spilling over into the arts, which are supposed to be our deepest source of inspiration. Films without a real antagonist because the writers are too afraid of conflict. Comedy that is either self-absorbed or preachy, en die eindelose dreuning van moderne musiek. Rapmusiek, waar selfs die kunstenaars weet nie eens wat hulle sê nie, wat amper klink soos 'n ambulanssirene. Hierdie twak wat jy by die DA-konferensies hoor, dieselfde lyn, baby, baby, ek is lief vir jou, oor en oor herhaal, asof herhaling die plek van betekenis kan inneem. Dit is rubbish, dit is nie kunsie. It is a person crying out for meaning, with nothing left to devote themselves to. What is fundamentally wrong with building your entire sense of meaning around material things? Very simple. They decay. Geld verdwyn, skoonheid vervaag, verhoudings breek, titels word geërf, verloor en vergeet. Jy spandeer jou hele lewe om dinge na te jag wat uit hulle aard nie kan hou nie. En dan is jy geskok wanneer hulle nie die gewig van betekenis kan inneem nie. And here is the uncomfortable truth. Many people cannot bear the burden of creating meaning entirely for themselves. Many people were never meant to. Historically, people live within structures greater than themselves. Religion, culture, tradition, nation, ritual, duty. These things gave shape to life.
Long live the king!
They gave people an identity before they had to find one for themselves. That is what you see today. a political, religious, and cultural landscape increasingly dominated by people who do not belong there because we have been convinced by liberals and communists, armed with appealing words like democracy, that the highest positions are meant for everyone. Wanneer dit nie is nie. Why has it become controversial in today's multicultural world to acknowledge that people are different? Dis mos net logies, mense, because once material success becomes the highest value, every role that is not associated with power, wealth, or status begins to look like failure. And that is how societies become spiritually hollow. Much of the work that created the most beautiful things in the world is no longer held in high regard. And when you finally reach the top of the corporate or political ladder, you often discover something terrible. Dis nie so mooi nie. Soos William Shakespeare geskryf het. Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. En meeste mense kan dit nie doen nie. Hoeveel eksperimente wil jy nog sien? We keep making the same mistake. Keir Starmer, Boris Johnson, Mmusi Maimane, Herman Mashaba, John Steenhuisen. Different countries, different parties, same disappointment. Every generation convinces itself that the next politician will save them, and every generation is shocked when that politician turns out to be human. We ask politicians to provide meaning, purpose, morality, and salvation. Hulle kan nie. They are politicians, not saints. And until we stop expecting holiness from politicians, they will keep disappointing us. Ons voorouers het inspirasie gevind in dinge wat die individu oorskry het. God, nasie, taal, beskawing, afkoms, mite, ritueel, plig, wat saamgevat kan word in die vaderland. Hierdie was abstrakte dinge, en juist daarom het dit gehou. Jy kon dit nooit regtig bereik nie. Hulle kon nie deur inflasie gedevalueer of deur omstandighede vernietig word nie. Dit was heilig. And from that sacred inspiration emerged some of the greatest creations in human history. Cathedrals built over centuries, paintings created to glorify heaven, music composed for kings and churches, monuments erected not for profit, but for meaning. People once dedicated their lives to something greater than themselves, and in the process, they found friendship, community, and love.
From this day to the ending of the world, but we in it shall be remembered. We few, we happy few, we band of brothers.
Natuurlijk was dit nie perfek nie, maar wat is die alternatief? Wil jy beskawing verander in 'n spel Monopoly? Vra vir die Zimbabweërs hoe dit uitgewerk het. Jy hoef nie Zimbabwe toe te gaan nie, gaan dit na jou plaaslike restaurant toe, hulle is almal daar. As the Italian nationalist Giuseppe Mazzini once said, without a country, you have no name, no sign, no voice, and no rights. No admission as brothers into the fellowship of nations. You are the bastards of humanity. The pain we are feeling across the world is the loss of this higher spiritual body, the loss of the thing that once told us, you belong, you are held, everything is under control. Jy doen goed. Hoekom gaan die emosionele span in die koöperatiewe wêreld, veral die vrouens, so te kere? Want daar's niemand wat hierdie meer doen nie. Jy kan nie van jou baas verwag om jou sielkundige te wees nie, van jou kollegas om jou predikante te wees en van jou man om jou dokter te wees nie. Dis mos net onmoontlik. Ons was so slim om al die instansies te kritiseer. Kyk nou. Nou moet ons luister na die Haridas. Liam Jacobs moet in die kerk wees. 'n Predikant moet na hom luister. Hy moenie in politiek wees nie. What we are dealing with is a spiritual loss, and a profoundly painful one. So that is the defining spiritual and political crisis of our time. How do you find meaning in a world where technology and modern ideology have stripped away everything once considered sacred? So that is deeper than nostalgia. It is a profound emotional longing for something absent or lost that can never be truly recovered. It is not merely remembering the past, it is feeling the absence of something that once gave life meaning. Jy sien dit oral. Ek het in Europa gesien, die sterk kontras tussen die mense wat te bang geword het om selfs net op te kyk vir die ongelooflike geboue rondom hulle. Ek sien dit in die oë van die ouer Afrikaanse oomies wat vir jare lank ons vir jou Suid-Afrika gesing het en geglo het hulle is deel van iets permanent wat nooit sal verdwyn nie. En nou dra baie van hulle 'n nuwe gevoel. Trauma. 'n Gevoel wat vir die politieke elite, die Rolf Meyers en die liberaliste wil sê, julle het beloof, dit sal my gelukkig maak. Die groei, die gemak, die moderniteit, die materiële sukses, die een wêreldkultuur en in die proses het jy alles gevat wat vir my betekenis gegee het. Die gemeenskap wat nie meer bestaan nie, omdat nie meer veilig is nie. Die familie wat oor die wêreld versprei is. Die instellings waarin ek nie meer glo nie. Die nasie wat eens soos my tuiste gevoel het. Jy het dit alles gevat. Nostalgia remembers. Saudade mourns. Nostalgia is warm. Saudade is something heavier. It is the feeling of a Roman soldier who accepted a bribe to open the gates, only to stand upon the walls and watch his beloved Rome burn. A father who, in a moment of rage, realizes he has fatally wounded his own son. A man who spent his entire life climbing the corporate ladder, only to wake up at 50, rich, successful, and utterly alone. His marriage dead, his children distant, living in a country he no longer recognizes. It is not merely the memory of something that has been lost. It is the shock and the sense of betrayal that you yourself were deceived and took part in its destruction. Followed by the 4 infamous words. What have I done?